Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. So for today's video, I'll be speaking about yet another Western film, which yes, I do realize that this isn't exactly some everybody's cup of tea. Some people out there may not want to watch this anyway, just because of the fact that it's old. Well, it's my video and I do whatever the hell I want, so there you go. But yes, of course it's gonna be obscured. Yes, of course it's gonna be low budget and it's gonna be a blast from the past, which I've already done anyway, regardless of genre. So anyway, the film I'll be talking about is it's this movie of here, folks. Oh yeah, which by the way is a musical, and yeah, this is definitely the type of a movie I won't really review. What I'm referring to is a musical type movie. I don't typically talk about musical stuff really because it's not really my cup of tea. I usually don't care for musical movies. I mean, there's some decent musical movies out there, don't get me wrong. There's some good movies out there, I'm not denying that. It's just not really my cup of tea, really. Anywho, whatever the case is, either way, like always, let's talk about the plot, shall we? And just get into it. Oh, yeah, I reckon. Anywho, it's a singing type movie, Western film, like I said earlier. That's definitely here. So anyway, our main character does meet up with this character named Sue, a girl returning from back east who is cheated out of her insurance. Oh boy, yep, there's some drama in there by this greedy individual and this kidnapper. Yeah, as if it wasn't crazy enough, as if things went wild already, as if they already were. Our main character's friend, ranch owner, has been misplaced has misplaced his title papers. So let's just say that his title papers has been misplaced. So that's definitely is a good thing. But yes, obviously there's a villain that does file suit claiming the ownership of the said ranch. Oh boy. So yeah, it's pretty. It may seem like an airtight case, quite clearly. So our main character has to expose the villain for the bad individual for his true intentions. So yes, quite clearly, it's going to be quite difficult to do so. So our main character has to do his best to do what's right. So yes, this is the whole bit where the villain in her pretty much inherits the circus, but the the dead's dad partner whom is attempting to take it away from her, of course. So that's going on. So let's just say that things get pretty crazy as things go along. Because you might as well, if you may have some drama, you might as well just add to it somehow. You gotta make it interesting in some kind of way. There has to be some kind of drama, of course, like I said before. Yes, obviously, there has to be a, a villain, of course. There has to be a villain, and the villain must be stopped. Actually, the villain must be stopped some kind of fashion because he's supposed to be a despicable bastard, of course. But yeah, that's definitely the case here. Gotta make the villain unlikable in some kind of fashion because we're supposed to cheer for the good guy here. Yes, of course. Yeah, I know this sounds incredibly corny as all hell, which it does. But hey, if it works, it works. I suppose that's usually the typical formula of these type movies, where the good guy has to find a way to defeat the villain in some kind of way, folks. But yes, obviously, there's also a bit of humor thrown in there. There's a bit of humor thrown in there, of course. And you do have to keep in mind that this was made back in the 1940s, so of course the humor here may come off different than some of the others, quite clearly. And the humor in this movie is not going to be the same kind of humor that's in this more modern age. Just throwing it out there. So anyway, I guess this is definitely a movie where you can be seeing cowboys. And the thing is that this was not the only time I've spoken about Western movies where the cowboy character would sing. I was talking about these kinds of movies before, so this is nothing new. So I'm just seeing this kind of thing again being played right here, folks. Ultimately, I can say this is a good one. This is definitely a pretty good film, I thought, as far as I'm concerned. It's definitely not too shabby for what they were trying to aim for. It's definitely a worthy. It's definitely a movie that's worthy of watching. That's for sure. Those could be some guns, some horseback riding and whatnot. What you might expect from these types of movies, that's definitely gonna be the case here. Oh yeah, I would agree. That's definitely the case. This is what you might expect from these types of features. Obviously. So definitely I would say that it's worth a watch in the sense that the pacing of the film isn't too bad. The pacing is nicely done, of course. The pacing is nicely done throughout the entire thing, I would definitely say. There's not one moment where I would say that, okay, I'm bored, just get on with it. No, not necessarily. I thought the pacing was good. He just got to the point, really. Yeah, that's definitely the thing here, folks. Oh, yeah. I can definitely say it's a pretty solid film in the pacing department, quite clearly. Alright, so that's definitely is a good remark there in that case. Oh, yeah. As mentioned earlier, folks, yes, of course, I'm not really the one to watch these kinds of movies where these musicals like the main elements of this. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. It really isn't. But I wanted to watch this and just review it as well because I tend to review old movies to begin with. So I just thought I just had to do this in that case. I just had to go along and just do this anyway because why stop now? Oh no, why stop now? We've already reviewed quite a few Western films anyway up to this point, so there's no reason to just suddenly stop doing this kind of stuff, even if it's a musical. Might as well just get to it. Oh yeah, might as well just get to this. Alright, it's one of these movies I've been meaning to review anyway, because for one, I keep putting it to a side. I keep putting it to a side. This was on a back burner. I've been meaning to do it anyway for me to watch. If I'm be honest here, folks. So it's definitely something I've been meaning to do to begin with. So finally here, finally at this point to review this kind of thing. Ultimately, I would definitely say it gets a recommendation for me as far as concerned if you're really one of these types of people that do enjoy these types of movies. Yes, obviously, this is not going to be exactly the most popular movie really out there. I do know that it's not something a whole lot of people would want to watch because it's not like a Michael Bates movie. That's what I'm saying. It's not a Michael Bates movie, whatever, because you don't see like explosions like every 2 seconds and whatnot, which honestly is very boring if you ask me. But anyway, that's just me though. I tend not to care for a lot of the modern stuff to begin with. And that's not really a popular opinion, but like that's topic before. Whatever. Anywho, but this is definitely is a solid movie and as a whole when it comes to the the acting isn't too shabby as well because I like the acting because the actors and actresses really do attempt to give a sense of their characters, of course. And yes, we see a female character in this movie as important to the plot in some kind of fashion. Which yes is nothing new. You be thinking that these types of movies is just a boys only club kind of thing. And yes, a lot of people would assume that it's just for boys and that's it. And not there's nothing else, just a bunch of boys, bunch of men, I should say. But anyway, that's the thing though. That's because a lot of the time the men might be the main character. Doesn't necessarily mean that women can't play a part in this some kind of way. Of course, women can be important to the plot in some kind of way, in some kind of fashion, which is the case here. The female character can be important in some ways, which is fine. I didn't mind that really. But anyway, I did think that the story in here isn't too shabby for what they were trying to aim for. Yes, it's a pretty crazy story. It's a pretty weird story in some ways, but yeah, I didn't mind. I didn't mind that really when it comes to the story. It might be a little on the wild side, as it should, because you gotta make it interesting in some kind of way, I reckon. And this is definitely the case here. So I want to keep a pretty wild story at the end of the day. I do recall these types of movies, especially when they were originally released, folks. Yes, you heard me right. When they were originally released, I was around since then. When you think about it, because I am quite old, folks. Oh yeah, that's for sure. And yeah, I was around when these type of movies were really popular way back in the day. Yeah, this was made in 1940s. I was around then. Oh yeah, but that's the thing though. So I guess I'm just accustomed to this type of stuff. I'm just used to seeing these kinds of movies to begin with. And maybe it's just a matter of taste, I suppose. But personally speaking, I didn't mind these movies whatsoever. As I said, I've been watching these type of movies since then. Anyway, so I just figured might as well just get to it and just review it here because I've already been covered quite a few of these movies to begin with as of lately. So it's just that there's no reason to stop now all of a sudden, quite clearly. But I'll get to more of these movies whenever I do have the chance. Whenever I do have the opportunity, I will get more to these types of movies because there's still more I do have to cover at some point. I'm just letting everyone know right there, for whomever's watching. There's still quite a few of these movies I still have to cover to begin with, folks. Just letting you know. But at some point, sooner or later, I will get to more of these quite clearly because I will watch more and I will review more as soon as I can. There's still some I still need to discuss here, which is fine because I tend to cover a lot of the old movies to begin with. But yes, I would definitely say that there is a special charm when it comes to these movies. There is a special charm when it comes to these old Western movies, right back in the day. But that's fine. I know a lot of people don't tend not to like these old Western films for whatever weird reason, really. But personally speaking, I didn't mind them. I know this isn't really as these types of movies aren't really as popular way back when as they were back in the heyday, no pun intended. But still, I know these Western movies have came back some various degrees, I guess. There was attempts to bring this genre back, I guess. But honestly speaking, I tend to watch more of the old stuff anyway because just the new stuff that they released over the years just don't have the same kind of kick to them. So in charm, like I was saying a moment ago. I don't know, maybe just me, I guess. Like I was saying, maybe just got accustomed to these old Western movies, I suppose. I don't know. Whatever. I know, yes, because just because something is new does not automatically mean it's garbage, but it usually is. It usually is. Oh, yeah. Okay, alright. This is pretty much. I'm just rambling on this point. That's for sure. I'm pretty much rambling on this point. Anyway, I would only really recommend this kind of a thing for those people who really are interested in this genre. And then otherwise, I'll just find something else to talk about, of course. Anyway, but I know this is definitely something all these old mo- movies get some kind of appreciation because a lot of people out there who do watch this kind of a thing. If you do want to have some kind of, I guess, experience with these old movies, just adventure on and have a watch yourself if you want. Sure. If you're new to the genre, if you haven't seen that many films, I still suggest this anyway if you want to give it a shot, that is. Again, no real pun, really. No pun intended. Oh, yeah. Anywho, I do miss this kind of movies, really. I do. Okay, that aside, I'll give this film an overall rating of a 7.0 10. It gets a 7.0 10 from me. Thanks for watching. See ya later.